evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Wealth Guardians radio program. And remember, we tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. And JB joins me in the studio today. JB, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you, Doug?
Doing well. Can you believe we're into September already?
I know, all the way through Labor Day, and now it's just all downhill to the holidays, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Hey, did you do anything special for your Labor Day weekend?
Actually, I kind of did the opposite of laboring. I kind of sat around and caught up on some TV shows and enjoyed the family.
There you go, man. My oldest son flew over from Reno, and we got a chance to pal around and play some golf, so it was a great weekend.
That's great.
Well, for those of you who just joined us maybe for the first time, my name is Doug Ray. I'm the host of this program, the Wealth Guardians radio show. I'm also the president, founder of Ray Financial Group. And Ray Financial Group's a professional independent firm working with pre-retirees and retirees in the arena of retirement, estate planning, including wealth management, preservation of capital, asset protection, tax reduction, wealth transfer, and distribution. And we are fiduciaries on a fiduciary duty. We have offices in Charlotte, here in the Triad, and Clemens. The objective of this show has always been to educate and inform our listeners of up-to-date, relevant, and important information in the pre-retirement and retirement and estate planning arena. The topic of each of our shows is just an expansion of a column that I do, and this allows us to get into much more detail and specifics and give the listeners much more valuable information to help them. And if you don't get that column, if it's not in your area, just send me an email. We'll gladly email you a copy of that week's column. So again, welcome into the show. JB and I are looking forward to spending the next 30 minutes with you and giving you some solid financial information that hopefully will help you make a difference in your retirement and your estate planning. So let me, as I always do, give a big special thank you to all of our men and women who are serving in our armed forces today. And also a big thank you for all the volunteers and folks who have gone by the tens of thousands down to the Houston, Texas area to help all those hurricane victims. Thank you so much.
Well, once again, we'd like to welcome everybody to the show. And Doug, it's been said many times that life comes down to just a few decisions that you make along the way. Well, the success of your retirement plan certainly does.
Yeah, decisions. It's all about decisions during your lifetime. Each and every day you make thousands of decisions. Now, some of them have few, if any, long-lasting consequences in your life. Others, however, can have a huge impact on your life. And this is especially true when it comes to financial decisions regarding your retirement planning. So, will you make the right decisions? Various internet sources estimate that an adult makes 35,000 remotely conscious decisions each and every day. Now that sounds like a lot, and it sounds way too high to me, but according to researchers at Cornell University, we make over 200 decisions each day on food alone. JB, you and I probably make 400 decisions.
I think mine's probably a little more than that.
Now, there's not that many decisions to make when it comes to your retirement plan, but, the decisions you make carry more weight and consequences than most other decisions. In fact, the success of your retirement plan ultimately comes down to just a few vital key decisions that you'll make, and those are things like how and when to select your Social Security for maximizing your benefits. In addition to Medicare, what options will you select to protect those assets you have from health care expenses? What type of retirement accounts will you use to save for and maximize your retirement nest egg in a most tax-efficient way? And what legal documents do you need to set up for your estate properly? What planning moves will you choose to minimize the effects of taxes in retirement? All of these questions require decisions by you and at some point during your pre-retirement and even into your retirement years. These decisions you make and some other questions will absolutely make a huge difference in the ultimate value of the success of your retirement plan. So, since these are so important, we're going to spend today's show going through some of these critical decisions that you've got to make.
Well, Doug, let's start with the first one that you have already mentioned today, and that is Social Security.
Well, Social Security has been around a long time.
Right.
And many people know that there's been a lot of talk in the press about changes that need to be made to the system. And most of these changes are due to more people collecting Social Security benefits now and in the future. I mean, look at this big wave of baby boomers starting to collect.
Right.
So definitely some changes will have to be made to the Social Security system to save it for the future. However, for those of you getting close to Social Security age or already on Social Security, I really don't think that there's going to be much in the way of changes that are going to affect you. Regardless, though, Social Security will be around, and at some point, you're going to have to make a decision on when and how to turn on your benefits. So contrary to popular belief, there's a lot of options for turning on those benefits. Most people think there's just 3 options to choose from, either turn it on at 62, 66, or 70. But actually, you can turn your benefits on anywhere between 62 and 70. And there are a lot of different ways to turn on your benefits that people are not aware of. And the combination of when and how to turn these benefits on will ultimately affect the amount of money you receive from Social Security over your lifetime. So one of the biggest decisions you got to make at some point will be how and when to turn those Social Security benefits on. There is a lot of thought and analysis that needs to go into your decision and a lot of different factors to consider. Every person's decision is unique to their own situation. This is not a decision that you should make based upon what your neighbor did or what a family member did or what somebody told you at the bar or at lunch. Every person's different, and their decision needs to be based on a lot of different factors, including work credits, assets, income, your tax situation, and many other factors. That's why we highly encourage people to work with a retirement specialist, one that has knowledge and expertise in Social Security so they can help you with making proper decisions. The Social Security personnel will not and cannot offer advice. They are not financial advisors. They do not hold a license for planning. They cannot and do not ask the right questions and do the research to determine when the best time for you as an individual in a family unit to turn on your Social Security benefits. Social Security personnel are simply there to take an order and turn it on. And again, this is a very big decision you're going to need to make. So let me help you make that decision. I want to talk about my last Social Security workshop of calendar year 2017. It is fast approaching. It is September the 26th and 28th, 6:30 p.m. in the evening. It will be at the Broyhill in Clemens. You need to call us, 336-391-3409. All of our workshops we've done this year on Social Security have been well attended, and I have to tell you, I'm sorry this is the last one we're doing for the year, but it is because we got some other plans for you coming in October, November, and then December.
It's good information there, Doug. Okay, Doug, another important decision that people are going to have to make regarding income during retirement is a potential pension decision.
Well, you know, some people are still going to have a pension when they retire. There's not as many workers with pensions today that there used to be, and that's simply because companies are not offering pensions anymore.
Right.
But for those who will have a pension, you will have some decision to make as to how to turn that pension on. When a person retires and gets to the point where they are ready to turn on their pension, there's a lot of different options to choose from, such as survivorship percentage. How much do you want to leave to the spouse? A potential lump sum offer, and there's plenty of other options. This is another key decision people will have to make that can affect their retirement years. Again, you'll want to work with a specialist to help determine the most proper election strategy for your pension based on your situation. There's a lot of factors involved in this decision, such as other assets and income that you might have, and even your tax situation. So keep in mind, your pension decision is a one-time only option, and once you make that decision, it is set in stone for the rest of your life. These decisions are really big, and they're going to affect a person's future, so you want to choose the right option for you.
Now, Doug, both Social Security and pension income are lifetime retirement incomes. Unfortunately, though, many people will not have a lifetime pension from an employer. And since Social Security is generally not enough to live off of during retirement, what decisions can people make to ensure a lifetime income?
Well, you're right. Not many people have a pension these days, and when they retire, Social Security generally isn't going to be enough to carry a person through the rest of their retirement. A lot of people would like to have additional income that would be guaranteed to last their lifetime, and the good news is there are ways to do that in this day and age. Some insurance companies have come up with some plans to allow a person to position some of their retirement assets in a wall that will pay out an income over a lifetime or even the life of you and your spouse. Now, some of these plans have a small cost to have guaranteed income stream throughout their lifetime, but sometimes these costs can be well worth it depending upon your situation. You know, I always try to build a plan where we have guaranteed income to pay for the basics of life, and then everything else, you know, the fun stuff like taking that Alaskan cruise and the grandkids down to Disney, we can do that with variable retirement asset sources such as monies in the market and that kind of thing. And then one of my favorite ways to do this for my clients is using an asset class called a fixed indexed annuity, because there we can have our cake and eat it too. We can get the benefits of market growth, but at safety, no risk of loss of our principal. And yet we can get gains, and also we can turn on a lifetime guaranteed income if we want to. And remember one thing, folks, and this is important. Only insurance companies can guarantee you a lifetime income. No other source can do it. And that's because of mortality credits. And what I'd like to do is have a chat with you about that and how important it can be for your portfolio. So just give us a call at 336-391-3409, and let's have that talk. Come on in, have a cup of coffee with me, and we'll talk about your own personal situation. All right, we're up against a break, and we'll be back with more Wealth Guardians here in just a quick few minutes right here on 94.5 WPTI. All right, well, welcome back to the Wealth Guardians radio program, where we tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. And we really do appreciate you being with us today. If you've got any questions, if you want to come in and chat about your own situation, your retirement planning, give us a call at 336-391-3409 or visit our website at www.thewealthguardians.com. You can always go on Facebook and like our show, The Wealth Guardians Radio Show. So we're about midway through our show today, and we've been talking about some very key and vital decisions that you'll have to make at some point that's going to affect the ultimate value of your retirement plan. So, JB, let's get back to it.
All right, Doug. Well, you know, many people feel there are not many decisions to be made during retirement regarding health care, and that's because Medicare becomes their primary insurance at that time. Now, this is not necessarily the case, is it?
No, in fact, there's going to be more decisions to make regarding health care, especially in the future. You know, as everybody is very well aware of, health care is a major problem now, and there isn't any signs of it getting better in the near future. Costs are extraordinarily high, which is probably it's not going to be getting any better anytime soon. It's just not fair or right at how many and some people have to pay for health care insurance. But unfortunately, that's the way it is. And you will have some decisions to make here. So one is when you turn 65, Medicare is going to kick in, and that's going to become your primary health care insurance throughout the rest of your retirement. But Medicare by itself is not enough. You're going to need to make some decisions about supplements to fill in those gaps. Also, you're going to have long-term care protection options to consider, because long-term care, please understand this, most people don't get it, long-term care is not covered by Medicare. So, there's lots of medical decisions that you'll be making regarding your retirement and protecting your retirement. Do not go into retirement thinking you just need to get to 65 so I can get Medicare and that's it. It isn't. There's a lot of medical decisions to be made, and they need to be made based on your situation to protect your retirement. Again, medical expense can wipe out a retirement nest egg if you're not careful. That's why you need to have it protected the most proper way.
You know, Doug, another important decision that people will have to make is the type of accounts they decide to use in saving for retirement.
Well, JB, exactly. That's right. And we've discussed that on previous radio shows. You know, saving's great, but some people think if they just save or save enough, they're going to be fine.
Right.
However, realistically, it's where you save and how you save that's more important than the amount you save. There are so many different types of accounts to be used for savings for your retirement. And every single one of those accounts have their advantages and disadvantages. So you need to find out which type of account or account is best for you. And again, it's based on your own unique and specific situation. For instance, should you be saving on a pre-tax basis or a post-tax basis? What type of market risk should you be taking? And should you be taking advantage of a company-sponsored plan or just doing it on your own? There's a lot of different types of retirement saving plans available and that you can save your money in. So you need to figure out the best type or types. I mean, you could have more than one for your unique situation. Like we said last week, many people are actually able to contribute to multiple retirement savings plans. And that could be powerful as long as you're using the right plans. Figuring out what type of accounts you need to be using can make a tremendous difference in the ultimate value of your retirement plan. Not only saving enough, but where you're saving and how you're saving can be critical to the success of your retirement plan.
All right, another important decision, Doug, that has to be made during retirement is which legal documents to use.
Yeah, everybody needs some legal documents, especially in the retirement years. And honestly, JB, in the last month, I have been surprised when I have sat down with new folks coming into our office to start doing their retirement planning, how many people just don't have a simple will.
Right.
You know, it's critical for you to have a will, because if you don't, the state, whatever state you live in, has a plan for you, which probably in most cases isn't the way you want your assets to be handled at your ultimate demise.
That's right.
So, in addition to a will, many people need other documents. They might need a revocable living trust, and depending on type of assets owned and the amount of assets, they might need an IRA trust. And that helps to protect beneficiaries from taxation and other spending issues. And we've talked about on past shows as well. Then there's power of attorney documents and other documents that are needed in many cases, as these days you need to make certain that when things need to get done, they get done in your best interest. So, yes, legal documents are extremely important and one of the key decisions you need to make. So work with your advisor and an attorney to help you not only get the proper documents, but to keep them updated on a regular basis. Things change. And another important decision to make is which legal documents you need for your retirement planning. And if you've just moved here, a lot of you are new to our area. You've moved in from another state. Again, this is a perfect opportunity and time to make sure that your wills and trusts and so forth are up to date and are legal here in North Carolina.
Well, you know, Doug, another important decision that people will have to make, and it very well make a big difference in the ultimate value of their retirement plan. We're talking about tax issues.
Oh, huge decision. Unfortunately, taxes don't go away in retirement for most people. You know, in fact, a lot of additional taxes come into play during retirement. But with the proper planning and right decision making, you can minimize or eliminate a lot of taxes in retirement. And we work with our clients in regard to this all the time because it makes such a big difference on the ultimate value of your overall retirement plan. In fact, depending upon some decisions that you make, that can determine whether some of these assets and incomes are taxed or not taxed. Many times there are strategic ways on how to save and what types of accounts to save in to limit the amount of pre-tax money in retirement that could reduce or eliminate other taxes in retirement. Make sure you have the information you need in order to make the right decisions. Again, there are a lot of taxation to be saved if you know what you're doing and how to take advantage of the tax laws and the current tax brackets. Bottom line this, taxation is a huge problem in retirement, but it does not have to be if proper decisions are made. We did a very successful taxes in retirement workshop, and I'm going to be doing another one down in Charlotte coming up, where we've got pretty much a full crowd coming in. And in that workshop, I really show where Social Security and how you take your pension if you get one and money's out of your IRA, how that Social Security benefit really gets taxed pretty heavily and pretty quickly. In fact, what really opens up a lot of people's eyes is how quickly a person can go from a 15% tax bracket all the way up to a 55% marginal tax rate on their Social Security. And people didn't think that's possible. But JB, unfortunately it is. We even have a name for that in this business. It's called the tax torpedo. And that's simply because the way the government has decided over the years that they want to tax our Social Security benefits. So again, it's extremely important on how and where you create retirement accounts and put your money. I've always been a big proponent of Roth IRAs. And the reason for that is because that money's going to come out tax-free. And it's going to grow tax-free.
Right.
And, a regular IRA, it's going to come out as taxable income, and that goes right to creating situations in which that Social Security benefit will quickly become taxable. Not so with a Roth IRA. And again, we've talked about this on previous shows before. I'm a big proponent of Roth conversions. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't think they can convert to a Roth. They think, well, maybe I've made too much income. Again, the government changed the rules a while ago, and anybody can convert to a Roth. Not everybody can contribute to a Roth. That's where the income caps come in. But everybody can convert. Just yesterday in my office here in Clemens, I was sitting with a client, and we were looking at doing a Roth conversion. And the way I like to do it is a technique we call bracket bump. And basically what we're doing, I pull out his tax return, and I sit there in some software I have, and we figure out how much of his IRA we can convert this year before we get into the next higher tax bracket. And in his case, it turned out to be about $18,000. Well, based on that $18,000 in his tax bracket, that's going to create about an extra $2,000 in taxes. Now, to me and to him, that's a small price to pay if we believe taxes are going to be higher in the future, because they have been in the past. They've been as high as 90% in this country.
Wow.
And they've went down to 70% for a very, very long time. So we have, as I've said before, precedent for taxes to go up. And I know the President Trump administration right now is really pressing hard for tax cuts, and I do hope we get them, but we have to face reality. We have a huge debt. We've got these natural disasters we're having to deal with, and in my opinion, the more tax-free income you can create for your future, the better off you're going to be. I can easily see a situation where one day we're staring at the highest marginal tax rate in the 50% range.
Wow.
So Roth IRAs are a great way to do it. Also, loans from cash value life insurance is another great way to do it. You can also, with your Roth IRAs, create what's called a tax-free legacy for your family. We have what's called the stretch provision for both IRAs and Roth IRAs. All of these are critical decisions you have to make when you're looking at your retirement. And, ideally, I would love to have you come into my office somewhere, say, 5 years before retirement so we can start laying out plans to get it done. But you know what? It's never too late. If you're already in retirement, come in and take up my offer. Every listener of this radio program is entitled to have me do a free 5-point master retirement plan for you. And that includes figuring out tax-efficient withdrawals, Social Security optimization, Roth conversion strategies, how to put in lifetime guaranteed income in your accounts. Give us a call at 336-391-3409 and schedule your meeting. It's free, no obligation. And I don't bite. I might even serve you a cup of coffee or a Coke. So, again, 336-391-3409. I look forward to seeing you in my office very soon. And we'll see you next week on another Wealth Guardians radio program.